They say she get it from her mama. Mama say you fuck her right. Body rude is unpolite. Tell me in the humble type.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Kalia Imani White, and I'm so grateful to have you all here today. I know that it has been so long since I have filmed anything, and I really needed to take a break and a breather because 2025 has been crazy, extremely life-changing and monumental, but crazy nonetheless. So I'm excited to be getting back into something that I do love to do, and that is explore controversial topics that a lot of people sometimes don't agree with me. And if they don't agree with me, it's more than likely because they lack accountability within their own life and they don't have an understanding of how the real world works. So here on my channel, I really want to prioritize reality. I want to prioritize taking accountability, and I want to prioritize growth. That is something that is very important to me, and especially leading and living your life with integrity. So without further ado, we're going to jump into today's topic, and I'm going to try my best to stay on top of recording and uploading consistently, because I do feel that these are things that people need to hear, because it's a lot of stuff that people tend to ignore in our society because it's uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable truths. So let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about becoming something while being surrounded by nothing. So this is actually a topic that my sister and I explore a lot. We have to deal with this in our own family, in our own daily life, with trying to make friends and trying to build connections. It's really difficult when there are a lot of people around you who are so okay with settling for less. So before we actually jump in, I do want to give you guys a journal prompt that I feel could get your wheels turning a little bit. And that journal prompt is, I have it right over here. What could my life look like if I stopped waiting on other people to understand my vision? Which is something that I have struggled with myself because I'm a creative girly. I love creative things. I love doing things that are abnormal to normal people. And there are certain things that I have sought validation for in the past, and it's been really bad with me seeking validation. And I'm just now getting to the point in my life where I'm like, I don't really need you to understand me because I don't understand your life choices either. So let's start off with that journal prompt and really ruminate on that and write it down and really try to understand what would your life look like if you weren't constantly looking for validation from other people. So I'm going to put that right here at the bottom of the screen. And that was, what could my life look like if I stopped waiting on other people to understand my vision? Okay, so now let's jump into the topic. Let's talk about something that I see a lot of people talking about, but nobody wants to be bold enough to actually say it out loud. Okay, and that is becoming something while being surrounded by nothing. It's crazy growing up in an environment where nobody else around you wants to be anything past what they're doing next weekend. You're out here planning your future, and everyone else is worried about hookah, whether or not they're getting a text message back, what they're going to do next weekend, or what they're going to drink, or let's go party, let's go smoke this, smoke that. They're really stuck in the reality of cheap thrills. And that's the problem. I feel that people get comfortable keeping routines that make sure to keep them small. And then once you're the person who wants more, they make sure to call you out. You're obsessed, you're extra, you're doing too much. But they only say that because your ambition exposes their lack of. And this can actually come from the people that are closest to you. I feel that when you talk about haters, a lot of people automatically assume like, oh, these are people that you don't know. No, your number one hater is always going to be someone that is extremely close to you. Look right next door. Whoever you allow in your space, it can be your parents, it can be your cousins, it can be your best friends. Those are going to be the people who do not want you to surpass them in anything that you do in life. You often get things like, oh, what's up with your little business or your little TikTok? Things like that. They always like to throw little in front of things because they don't actually expect you to do well. In fact, they're hoping that you quit before it ever gets too big. And this is something that people love to do when your dreams make them feel small. And this usually comes from people who've watched you grow up, but they expect you to stay right where they left you. And here's a hot take. Most of these people don't actually hate you. They just hate that your ambition exposes that they could have tried harder. It's easier for them to believe that life is unfair than to believe that you just didn't quit. So therefore, your existence now has become a mirror that they don't want to look into. So you're villain number one. And I want to say, next, leave your hometown. Get out of there, okay? There's nothing for you there past the point of 18. Go. Leave. Your hometown is the very first place that teaches you your limits. Same streets, same faces, same mindsets, same everything. When you never leave, you really start to think that the world is small and that the world only consists of what you're seeing every single day. So you start to believe that the biggest thing that you can do is what everyone else is doing. I'll never forget, like when I was little, my dream job was to be a manager at Family Dollar. And that's because my cousin was a manager at Family Dollar. And she was like the only person that I had seen with a job. But the moment that you leave, you start to realize that your environment was not a home. It was a box that was created to keep you small. And you were never meant to stay in a box. If you were, then you wouldn't be here watching this video. And this is something that we don't talk about enough. A lot of people don't actually have hobbies, passions, or things that drive them. They just have distractions. Alcohol, weed, pills, nightlife, hookup culture. The things that they call fun are really just things that they do to help them avoid themselves. People normalize destroying their potential every single weekend. They brag about being drunk, being faded, being outside. I'm outside. But when you'd rather stay in and work on your goals and you're surrounded by those people who'd rather be outside, suddenly you're the weird one. People who do not see a future, they avoid the present. And when you're surrounded by people who are numbing themselves constantly, your clarity becomes extremely uncomfortable for them. Your discipline feels like judgment, even if you're not judging anyone. And that is something that I struggle with myself. I have a really hard time connecting with my cousins and connecting with other women who are my age because of the environment that I am in. My cousins are those people who are going to numb themselves. They do drugs, okay, perks, alcohol, marijuana, like whatever they can to avoid whatever they're feeling inside constantly and currently. And I'm just not that person. I'm not here to judge them. I just prefer to not partake in those activities. And because I prefer to not partake in those activities, it offends them. And I always say that I can accept anyone for who they are, but it's very difficult for people to accept me for who I am because it bothers them that I don't console their insecurities. Now, again, I'm not here to judge my cousins or like past friends who partake in those activities. I understand that they grew up with no role models and no guidance, and so did I. Trying to become something that you've never seen is hard. Some of us grew up without examples of success. No entrepreneurs, no creatives, no people with a job, no risk takers, just people surviving, not living. So we had to teach ourselves everything that we know. We had to be our own blueprint, our own motivation, our own coach. And it's not something that you really realize takes a lot of strength until you get older. And that's why I'm like obsessed with that J. Cole song, No Role Models, No Role Models. And I'm here right now, no motivation to speak of, searching through my memory, I couldn't find one. Yeah. I love J. Cole. When you're going through this constantly, you really do start to emotionally isolate yourself. I spent like 4 years in isolation, afraid to even post anything on social media because I didn't want that judgment and that backlash coming from my family because my lifestyle to them is weird because I don't partake in the things that they deem as fun. So it's like when no one understands your goals, you stop talking about them. Not because you're secretive, but it's just because you're tired of explaining yourself. You start keeping things to yourself because telling someone what it is that you plan to do and the goals that you have for your life and for your future, it kind of feels like you're handing over something to someone who does not know how to handle or to hold what it is that you just told them. And that loneliness is the cost of becoming someone that only you were meant to be. Growth is very loud on the inside, but it's very silent on the outside. So it kind of looks like you're just isolated, you're not doing anything, but in here, it's emotional turmoil. And it's like that for years. But I promise you the outcome, like on the other side of that emotional, internal tornado that's going on, it's beauty. Like there's so much that can come out of you forcing yourself to stay within that emotional isolation period. And stay away from people who have that crab in a bucket mentality. Even if it's family, even if it's friends that you've known for a long time, they're going to judge you regardless. So just cut them off and be exactly who they are saying that you are. Because they are people who don't want you to fail necessarily, but they also don't want you to succeed more than them. They'll question you, doubt you, joke on you, and make you feel like what you're doing is wrong. They'll guilt trip you. Why do you want all that? You think you're better than us? You've changed. No, I have not changed. I think it was Denzel Washington actually that said that your own family will talk bad about you while you're in the process of breaking all of their generational curses. But in reality, the truth is you were always this version of yourself. They're just seeing it for the first time, and it disturbs whatever demons they have inside. And that's how we end up outgrowing people. There comes a moment in your life when you realize that you cannot take everyone with you. I see a lot of celebrities get a lot of hate for family members that come out and speak publicly about how, oh, this celebrity, like, they no longer talk to me. As soon as they got famous, they stopped talking to me. And people give these celebrities like a bunch of shit about the fact that they do not talk to their family. But did it ever occur to anyone that their family are crabs in a barrel? Literally trying to pull them down to prevent them from becoming successful, talking badly about them as they're trying to uplift their family members, and their family doing everything they can to sabotage them because they're jealous that they are not the one that has been called to lead this family, to break these generational curses, and to do better. Instead, they decided to succumb to their environment and their circumstances, while their family member, who's now famous, decided to want more for themselves. And that offends them. Some people are just chapters, even family members. And you are the whole damn book. You don't have to cut people off with anger. Sometimes you just grow in a direction that they're not going in. There's nothing ill-intentioned about it. And they will never understand because they don't care to understand. Because in their story, the moment that you wanted better for yourself, you had already become the villain. Distance is clarity, and clarity is peace. So if you're watching this and you feel like you're surrounded by nothing and you're alone and you're in that isolation period and there's no motivation, no goals, no role models, I want you to understand something. Nothing around you does not mean that there is nothing in you. You are not the problem. You're not behind. You're not late. You're just early in your journey. And the people who are doubting you today will be the same ones who pretend that they believed in you all along years later. So keep going, keep building, and keep becoming. And I want to end this video with this journal prompt. And again, I will put it down below here. If nobody doubted me, what version of myself would I be today? After you have your answer, go become that person. That person is waiting for you. You have everything that you need, and forget what everyone else says around you. They're not going anywhere, but you are going everywhere. Okay, and that is it for today's video. Again, my name is Kalia Imani White, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this little think piece that is a little bit controversial. Again, I'm just going to start speaking my mind and try my best to upload consistently for you guys. If you have any questions or if you want me to speak about anything specifically, let me know down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye.
I put that on my own mama.